as you can see, we have upgraded the production value out this mug. Shout out to homie Curtis King for making sure I got set up right. You welcome to Hood Politics with Prop. You know what I'm saying? Super excited since y'all making me do this for your eyeballs. Like every podcast has to pivot to video. That meant I got a shower. I usually be doing this in my pajamas, eye crusties. But now since y'all gotta watch me do this mug, I gotta clean the room. I got my bad. It's the monitors mirrored. I got the plants over there. You feel me? That's a photo of me and refer to her by her prefix, Dr. Alma. That's the Real Ones banner for our Real Ones party. And this is the Real Ones hoodie. And this is the Terraform Cold Brew Cup. I apologize for y'all who've been keeping it real since day one and have been listening through your podcast regular channels. I appreciate y'all for keeping it real with me and staying true. You ain't got to do no video pivot. You getting what you getting. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out y'all right now, driving, cleaning your room, working out, got me on 1.5 speed. Whatever you doing right now, shout you out. You a real one. I appreciate you. And also, I appreciate y'all, you know what I'm saying, doubling up, doing the subscribing to Prop Hip Hop. You feel me? That way, because if you be on my YouTube, then that means you also get the music. I am rambling, probably because I really don't want to talk about what we need to talk about, which is an all-out 100% total absolute crash out that Donald Trump did last week. So I feel like I'm talking about everything but that. But since we're on that subject, if you're in the LA area, February 22nd, I'll be at the Sunset Rooftop. It's a like hookah bar and lounge. Obviously, Cali's still in licking its wounds, although it rained yesterday. And I know Californians say this. It's a meme. We say it every year. Look at each other. We go, we really need this rain. We really needed this rain. But like we really did. Like we really, this time, like for real this time. So we're still licking our wounds, but I still got to go back to work. Doing a cool little 15-minute hip hop set at the Sunset Rooftop, February 22nd. Tickets are like $20 to get in. Please, it's like those LA folk, like how Hotel Cafe is, where you got to like go see the person that you want to see and say their name. That's how they get supported and paid. It's one of them situations. So you got to go say you coming to see me. However, Saw Rock from the Mighty Rhymesayers crew is one of the dopest rappers. She is just free and insane. She's there. The homie Scarab, if you know hip hop from Living Legends, he'll be there. Me and Scarab got a song coming up too. He keep telling me his verse is done, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, if you're on my Patreon, you've been following the Tunnel Rats to Terraform pod, for which I get all emotional about features. But that's another story. So yeah, come see your boy there. February 22nd, Sunset Rooftop. Links and information will be on my website at prophiphop.com. Now, y'all ready? Absolute crash out. Hood Politics with Prop. The title of this only makes sense if you understand what a crash out is. We're talking about the first week of Trump's presidency and all of the things that he did. Now, a crash out, when I explain this to you, understand how slang works. Slang is ever evolving. And I'm sure you knew this by now. Like, for example, to all my white folks here, when the dude started talking about raw dogging a flight, they obviously didn't mean raw dog the way that the raw dog means, right? That's my example, that slang evolves, right? Once you understand what it is, you can start using it in funny, different contexts and ways. But they didn't literally raw dog a plane unless they did. But that's not what they meant. So crash out, the way I'm talking about it, I've even seen between me and my daughter, she means something totally different. You feel me? But I can see how the etymology evolved into what she believes a crash out is. Way we talking about it. Let me help you give you an example. So in Squabble Up on Kendrick's new record, he has a line about them crash test dummies didn't want your paychecks. Doesn't make any sense unless you know what a crash out is. What he's implying is that Drake put a price on Kendrick's head, and nobody out here was willing to take that money. That's what that line implies. I can't say that's what he's saying, but that's what it implies. So a crash test dummy would be the person that's willing to go crash out. They didn't want to, they was not willing to do that to K-Dot. Not out here. So have you kind of like put together what I mean by crash out? Now the youngins mean my daughter means she's just on complete overload and shuts down. Like, oh, I crashed out. Like I went to, I saw black, like I blacked out, like I was done. That's what she means when she says that. But I could see how, again, slang evolves. So don't let me be one of the olds. Although apparently I am firmly in the unk age. I don't know. I'm moving into, but look, it's like this. So I might as well move into it right here. But look, it's like this. But look, it's like this. But look, it's like this. So going around Black People Internet was apparently there are now age descriptions between the YNs, big bros, unks, and OGs, right? That there's an age range. The YNs, them the real young, the younglings, like them the young N-words. Big bro is probably like you've hit your 20s to mid 30s. Unk, I'm well in the unk phase, extends up until, you what you say, Chuck? Up to you rounding them 50s. You know what I'm saying? That's OG. So I'm well within the unk phase. I appreciate actually having, because the thing is, once you enter the unk phase, it feel weird because you've been big bro for a little bit. Now that I'm officially in there, once you get a few years within the unk phase, you kind of comfortable with it, because that basically you mean you know what you're talking about. If you are 36, between 36 to 50, what up, unk? You know what I'm saying? So ICE has made it to LA. That's one thing. They said that they not gonna go in the areas that have been affected by the fires because they supposed to show a little bit of mercy, whatever the hell that means. I know that down in Florida, Governor DeSantis is trying to make moves to make sure that all of his agents down there comply, and he gonna make them comply unless they gonna get fined for not doing their job. But I do have some ways for which you can help, you being a red-blooded American citizen. However, according to some of the stuff we about to talk about, you may not be a red-blooded American citizen. I don't know where you from, because apparently it ain't from where you was born. Anyway, ways for which you can help is do the running man. As soon as you see, hit them with a RoboCop. As soon as you see one of the cops to be like, hey, cops, can cops do the RoboCop? Then you can start talking to them the way that our children talk to them whenever you ask them a question about how school went. What'd you do at school today? I don't know. I don't remember. What'd you guys learn today? I don't remember. I don't know. You know what, matter of fact, here's my favorite one. Just start running when you see them. Have them chase you. And then be like, oh, no, here's my passport. I'm a citizen. Sorry, I thought maybe it was something else. Just distract. Be a real one, y'all. That's what you can do. And I've also noticed they coming down to Boyle Heights in East LA, but they sure ain't going to Glendale. Y'all sure not going to where the Russians is. Y'all not going to where the Armenians is. You ain't looking for so it seemed to me like your little ICE raids ain't got nothing to do with ICE, because apparently y'all may not remember this, but President Obama, he deported more people than all of them. But the thing about Obama was he deported everybody. It wasn't just the brownies. So maybe this ain't got nothing to do with illegal immigration. It got something to do with people of color. Anyway, in other news, the Congo out of Africa, man. Y'all remember the Rwandan genocide? So the rebels from over there done taken over the country next to it, Congo. They done overthrown the military. Y'all, I mean, one day I need to do a hood politics of just Africa. Like, because first of all, I mean, it would take us 7 months because Africa is the largest second largest landmass on the planet. But we definitely have a lot to cover there. But right now, like the government is like Congo's where all the cobalt coming from for your new little iPhone 16. Like it's really all bad right there. But the president don't care because our president too busy practicing the ethnic cleansing and doing what he can do to relocate all the citizens of Gaza. Because as you know, as of today, as in this is Monday, you're going to hear this if you listen to the day it drops, Wednesday. As you know, the Palestinians were allowed to come back and go survey their rubble. Please understand that when they get there, there are still people under the rubble. Like, this is not good. But the president on the phone with Jordan and Egypt talking about, man, y'all should go ahead and like, we would really like it if you would kind of take some of the people from Gaza and like let them live there. And they was like, temporary? He was like, yeah, some temporary, some permanent. He was like, it's going to take a lot of work to rebuild the city of Gaza. I'd love to get my hands on some properties. Gaza. I mean, just super villain. I don't like some good news. SZA is going to be a part of the Super Bowl with K-Dot. That'll be cool, which is happening pretty soon because apparently Kansas City is going again. I realized as of today, I haven't watched a single football game. That's crazy. Anyway, all right, let's get back to this crash out. Okay, here we go. Despite not a single price for eggs going down, despite our groceries skyrocketing, nothing changing from there, and despite everyone also finally acknowledging that the cost of eggs is because of bird flu, not because of President Biden, despite not keeping any of those promises, Trump has kept all his promises, his day one promises. So the following episode is, I'm just going to run through in no particular order all of the crash outs, everything Trump did that we know of so far, how those things set in motion, and maybe, just maybe, what we can do to help. Now, the following I'm giving you are in no particular order, but I am going to try to put them in particular categories. Now, before I explain these categories, I would like to give a full and unequivocal apology to Pastor Rick and Renee, Pastor Ray and Lisa, Pastor Bob and Betty, and Julie Zaragoza. I want Brother Philip, Sister Sandy, Miss Whitenhill, Deacon Johnson. I would like to apologize to Brother Ron and Sister Louise, my 5th grade Sunday school teachers. I would like to apologize most profusely to my mama, the holiest person I know, and also Pastor Dalen and Pastor Tanya. I would like to apologize to them, my Uncle Ray, my Aunt Lisa, everybody who know that, yes, I have accepted the Lord Jesus as my personal Lord and Savior, you know, in a way that is not like, I love the Lord. He heard my cry. However, I'm about to say a lot of cuss words. Okay. So please forgive me right now. Okay. I apologize to y'all who've been a fan of my music for a while, but if you've been listening to the show, you know I love Jesus and cuss a little. Okay. So I'm about to cuss a little because I don't know how else to explain what the hell happening right now. And to the rest of y'all that this don't mean nothing to, regularly scheduled program. All right. They're just phonics. Okay. If you want a quick little Bible lesson for all you Christians that cuss a little, okay, here you go. Bible talks about letting no profane speech come out of your mouth. Now, what does he mean by that? Do you think that the Greeks knew what fuck was? It's not a Greek word, right? Those are phonics. Maybe fuck isn't appropriate, but is it profane speech? Depends on what you mean by it, because you could use very nice words and still be speaking profane speech. For example, my wife is a PhD. She is a doctor. We could be in the middle of a terrible fight right now where I'm so irritated with her. And I say, all right, Dr. Alma, I'll do exactly what you said because you sure know what you're talking about. You the smartest person in the room, Dr. Alma. Now, those are respectful words. But you know how I meant that, okay? So rather than you having a vocabulary list of naughty words, you should check your heart and say, what is the content of your heart when you speaking to people. Now, having said that, fuck a Nazi. You know exactly what I mean by that. I slapped the shit out of a Nazi. I said that because I meant it. Okay? Is that profane speech? Is accurate speech? I let the Lord deal with it later. I love the Lord. He heard my cry. Hold my mule while I shout. God dog. As you can tell, I'm still avoiding what I need to do. Okay, here we go. No particular order, but here are the sections. There's a section that I would lovingly call fuck them kids. There's a section called fuck them weirdos. And there is a session I would like to call fuck your mama and them, okay? And then there's did I miss anybody else? That's the only way I know how to understand this total and utter crash out. Now, again, in no particular order, let's go through this. And I'm going to link all of the articles and the actual declarations within this. Now, what he did was a bunch of executive orders. Now, executive orders are just that. They are not necessarily laws, but they are ways for which you can override a law, right? Congress makes laws, and then the Supreme Court decides if that law is constitutional or not. That's how the system is supposed to work, right? Now, can you change the Constitution? Well, not without the Congress. That would be a really hard thing to do. But like all of us have said, the day that Trump first got into office in 2016 is that man gonna figure out how to stay in office after his 2 terms. And they've already, I mean, who didn't predict this? I was like, I think we stuck with Trump till he dies. I think everybody who really was like, because at some point you got to stop putting stuff past him. You know what I'm saying? Like the man, like you got to stop putting stuff past Trump. How many times over the years has you nice, brunch loving, I have no racist bone in my body liberals been like, well, he couldn't do that. He's not going to do that. Well, I mean, come on, he's not going to do that. We need to be civil. Do you understand that we are talking about that they're eating their pets guy? The eating the pets guy won. We talking about homeboy that got impeached twice. We talking to grab him by the pussy guy. That he with 94 charges, 34 felonies guy. Unconditional discharge, bruh. You can't put nothing past this man. So when this man say, I'm going to figure out how to have me a 3rd term, you better take this man serious. Shoo. Good Lord, good Lord, good Lord. All right, let's start with fuck them kids. And in the fuck them kids session, these are these executive orders. We are immediately leaving the Paris Climate Treaty. Now, the Paris Climate Treaty has its flaws. I hate to say that in Trump's defense. But it has its flaws, right? And part of its flaws is it can't really require you to do anything. It doesn't require countries to lower their emissions. On the whole planet, we all stand to benefit on us lowering our emissions. What Trump is saying is, well, how come y'all ain't got to lower it like we got to lower it? Okay, I hear you, but if we don't do this thing, this drill, baby drill, then we lose money. And the way my life is set up, I don't like losing money. And I feel like y'all need to lose money before we lose money. So you lower your emissions. I ain't doing shit. I'm going to make this money. He say stuff like, it's not fair. The U.S. is the 2nd largest emitter of planet warming greenhouses and the top producers of oil and natural gas. So why wouldn't you leave the Paris climate? Because that's like messing with my money. And this means that it's okay to drill. Therefore, fuck them kids. You understand that this is part of the Greenland thing too. See, Trump is fully aware that the planet is warming. Why I know that is because he wants to buy Greenland. Now, why would you want to buy Greenland? Because you understand that the ice sheet is starting to break up. So it would be much faster to get oil from Alaska or from Europe back and forth if you go around the top rather than going through the Atlantic Ocean. If you go around the Arctic, you could get there quicker. But the only way to do that is to have control of Greenland. But Denmark got it. Hey, looking at Denmark like, hey, cuz, like, what you doing with what you know Greenland is not Iceland, right? You know Greenland covered in ice. Denmark like, yeah, we know. It's like, nigga, you don't even know what you got. Won't you let us take that off your hands? You're not doing nothing. Probably build some houses over there. Denmark like, why? What? How much you want for it? Look, let me tell you something. Tell you a hood experience. Let me tell you that's how real it is, man. Bro, them bullies used to run up on you like that. Hey, how much you want for that bike? But if they not just gonna take it, hey, how much was that bike? How much you want for it? Like, I'm not selling my bike. Come on, man, how much? $20? My grandma gave me that chain. So what I'm implying is, even if you're not selling it, I'm just gonna take it. So at least make a little money from it. And even if I say how much you want for it, that don't mean I'm actually give you that. Basically, I want your bike. Dog. Oh man, y'all who grew up like us, like, man, you gotta tell me, how much you want for it stories. How much you want for it? God, dog. We gonna sell this oil. We gonna burn this until we not. You know why? Because he like, I'm gonna die anyway. We might as well make our money. I ain't gonna be here in the year 2050. What I care about that? You telling me the globe gonna get too hot by the year 2032? I'm being dead. Well, what about your children? Fuck them kids. You think about, listen, all the Social Security stuff, raising the retirement age. Fuck them kids. Dog. So effective immediately, we not in that. Connected to leaving the Paris Climate Treaty is our energy and environment executive orders. Trump declared, and this is how you doing it, a national energy emergency. So by declaring a national emergency, you can expedite, and you ain't got to like worry about all these regulations about drilling, right? He repeatedly promised drill, baby, drill. And like I said, we make a lot of money off natural gas and oil, right? So, but if you call it a national emergency, then that means you could quick release. You ain't got to go through all the red tape you normally have to go through because, say it with me. So what he does is there's one order that specifically targets production in Alaska, which rescinds former President Biden's protections against the state's coastal areas, right? So here's a way to look at it that is weird for my leftist ears, but I understand where he's coming from. If we get our oil, because again, not having oil for these people is a non-starter. Like, that's what we doing. Like, I'm ending all them wind leasing. Like he said, he already ended now. I'm pausing all that offshore. That's part of the crash out, right? So if we not doing that, and oil is the only way to do it, why the hell would we buy it from the Middle East when we be at war with the Middle East? We be going to war with them all the time. We done destabilize their region. We want them to need us, not us to need them. And why would I do that? Why would I go all the way on the other side of the world to get something that I got right here? That don't make no sense, according to him. We have the oil. Why do I need to go get it from somebody else? That puts them in charge because they could decide they don't want to sell it to us no more. And we'll be out of luck if all we do is get our oil from them. Like, why would we do? Like, we got our own. This is stupid. We have our own. What you mean we can't go get our own stuff? That's like your mama when you was like, Mom, you tell your mom you want McDonald's. She like, you got McDonald's money? I just want some fries. We got fries at home. We got food at home. That's your mama telling you we got food at home. Now, obviously, the caveat in this conversation is the part that we started with you saying that oil is our only option. We don't have to do either of these things. But fuck them kids. So also in addition to that, the heads of all relevant agencies shall not issue or renew approvals right away. So like permits, leases, or loans on offshore wind projects are pending review of federal wind leasing per the order. So what he trying to say is, I mean, we might do it later. But right now, like, if you're doing anything but oil, crash out. Stop what you're doing. Wait a minute. Let me see if this is really making us money. And for my money, if Trump is who I think he is, if he finds that wind makes him more money, he's gonna do it. Anyway, fuck them kids. Next, fuck your mama. All right. Don't nobody care about your mama, your grandmama. She old. She already lived a life. Your granddaddy, look, he old anyway. He's bad hip. I don't care about none of that. He got Social Security. What am I talking about? I'm talking about our health executive orders, the World Health Organization, COVID and drug costs. Do you know that Biden lowered the cost of prescription drugs? Trump was like, now, cuz, raise them prices back up. This one worked, fam. You could have stole this W. He was like, no, I'm rescinding the 2022 Biden order to lower the cost of prescription drugs. Now, what I imagine that man doing is some group project energy where he just gonna go in there, throw away the paper, reprint it, and put his name on the top. That's what I bet he gonna do with them prescription drugs. My Lord. Listen, when I was in high school, and you supposed to bring stuff for like, if you having like a classroom party and y'all was supposed to bring stuff, I would always, me and my boy Holden thought of this and we just did it forever. I would always sign up for napkins because I knew for a fact I was going to forget what we were supposed to bring. Like, I'm not going to sign up for no chips, no drinks, I ain't going to sign up for none of that because I'm going to forget. Cause I walk in the second period and I see everybody laying out the pizza. I realize I did not bring them napkins. You know what I do? I run straight to that bathroom and pull a gang of paper towels. I did my part. That's what Trump finna do for the prescription drugs. I'm telling you. He gonna rewrite it and put his name on it. Watch. So he's pulling the U.S. out of the World Health Organization, which he tried to do in his first term. But everybody was like, man, what the hell is wrong with you? So on Monday's order, I'm reading from Axios. He says, Monday's order said we will withdraw due to organization's mishandling of the COVID pandemic and other global health crisis, its failure to adopt urgently needed reforms, and its inability to demonstrate independence from the inappropriate political influence of the WHO member states. So he's saying he don't trust how y'all run this. So until y'all figure out how to run this thing, I don't want to be a part of it. I cannot overstate the danger that puts us in. But it truly ties into the other fuck your situation that I'll get into after this. But the weird part to me is like, I feel like he keep erasing W's because I thought he was Operation Warp Speed. Why would you erase your W? This man just be taking wins off the table. But whatever. Now, another fuck yo is fuck your rules. Now, what I mean by this is he done fired all of the inspector generals, 17 of them across federal agencies. He did this last Friday. Now, the first question is, what is an inspector general and why should we even care that he fired him? Now, watch this. First of all, you supposed to give him a 30-day notice, but they was like, look, you got to go tomorrow, my nigga. Y'all gotta pack your stuff and go home, right? Now, so inspector generals are independent watchdogs within agencies who investigate and disclose waste and fraud and abuse. Now, those who are fired, again, I'm reading from my notes here, on Friday include inspectors at the Pentagon and at the State Veterans Affairs and Interior, which oversees, watch this, marine, oil, and gas leases, as well as Indian affairs. Now, check this out. I'm going to read directly from the website for the Department of Interior, which is the one that, like, I never really knew what exactly that meant. We achieve our mission by conducting independent audits, inspections, and evaluations, and by reporting our findings of fraud, waste, abuse, or mismanagement, along with recommendations for improvement. And Trump is like, oh, I got the Doge for that. This man just fired every referee. This man, he was like, y'all got, I don't want no refs. We playing bully ball. But the people that got to stay were the Department of Homeland Security, so they could reshape the federal bureaucracy by scrapping all them stupid diversity programs. Because, you know, the Air Force can't talk about the Tuskegee Institute, none of the Tuskegee Flyers, right? They also not allowed to talk about the WASP, the women of the Air Force. You're not allowed to talk about the history of these people inside of the Air Force. You got to remove that, right? Speaking of which, shout out Costco. We done already talked about them, that they was like, look, we not leaving our DEI. Now, the people that was coming in there to clean up all that pesky diversity, they get to stay. And speaking of pesky diversity, that's the next section. Fuck them weirdos, okay? What do I mean by fuck them weirdos? Well, here's the thing is, if you just not a white dude, then that means you're diversity. It's just this idea that, like, I mean, let me side note this for a second. What they clearly saying, whether they know they saying it, is that either you're qualified or you're diverse. Because they're saying we're hired because of our diversity, which I don't need to explain to you why that's absurd, right? Or, yeah, it's that saying that what they're obviously saying is that the only people that can possibly be truly qualified for this is a white man. And if you hire anybody but a white man, then that means you're hiring them for their diversity. Because clearly only white men can be qualified. And what diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially in a diversity hire, is saying is like the fact that, like, and it's so stupid, if you like money, you should have been able to say this one. I did a whole episode, but it was kind of because the life just kept happening too fast, called Does Elon Have Hands? And because Elon the type of racist that likes diversity. Because he like, they help me get to the bread. I don't care if you Indian. I don't care if you Chinese. You gonna make me make more money, then cool. And I could pay you less because you don't live here. I like the H-1Bs. What we trying to say is, if you want to make money, you're not even in considering. It's not that people of multiple diversities, colors, genders, it's not that we not qualified. It's that you're not even considering us, is what we trying to say. Like, just put us in the pool. Niggas still got to prove they could do the job. I don't understand why that's so hard for you. You're limiting your options by saying you can only hire this group of people. What we saying is open the group up. God, why is that so hard for you? Well, it's not hard for you. We know what you mean. So anyway, an executive order targeting DEI, trans and transgender Americans. Trump has established that in the eyes of the law, there are only two genders, male and female. Now, This is a throwback to me to a number of things. One of those things it reminds me of was when, up until really the Civil Rights Act, America only had two races. You was either black or white. Now, you see how silly that sounds? But according to the law, that was it. Now, that had these weird moments in American history where you had Latino and Japanese immigrants trying to argue to the Supreme Court that they was white so that they could own land. But according to the law, up until the 60s, there was only black people and white people in America. Ain't that crazy? You see how ridiculous that sounds? And what's even more funny is Caitlyn Jenner tweeting about how she happy about this. And it's like, love one. Love one. Do you understand what's happening right now? Anyway, the sexes are not changeable and are grounded in a fundamental and inconvertible reality, is his executive order. He's calling it, this is what he's calling it. He's calling it defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government. What he's saying is he's standing up for regular folk. I'm like, listen, see, I've talked about this already, but here's their thing. They think we've gone batshit. They're like, to them, it's like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the way they think about it. Like, you're a girl. Why is this? So to them, at least up to what he's arguing, is like, you can't, if you chop your junk off, you're still a girl. Like, you're still boy. Like, that's the way they think about it. So for them, they're like, this is so stupid. I can't believe we're doing this. And to which I would reply, is it as stupid as believing there's only black or white? As us saying first of all, race is a social construct, that your race science ain't real, that y'all just made that up to hold on to power. You think we're ridiculous for saying that? You telling me you looking at the beauty of the Homo sapiens, and you telling me there's only black and white? Is that what you want to go back to that? Because that's what it sounds like. You see, you sound ridiculous. You're not who do you think you're protecting? You say you're protecting women. That's what you say you're doing. I don't know if that's what you're doing. Anyway, fuck them weirdos. And now I'm included in weirdos, and so is my wife, because she actually teaches DEI. So she teaches it at USC. So, she got to stop. And what part of what that means is, if your passport say X, you better hope you've changed your birth certificate, because you're not allowed to be non-binary. The country does not recognize non-binary. Fuck them weirdos. And including in them weirdos and including into that diversity is ICE. Fuck them brown folk. Because like we said before, y'all not hurrying to deport the Swedes coming here, is you? So on the immigration executive orders, what that means is he can turn this into a national emergency. And remember, like I said before, with national emergencies, that means that you can move a lot faster. You can send federal agents to the border, and you can do ICE raids without warrants. You could come into schools, churches, synagogues, places of work, go get them kids. You could stop them on the streets. You can do all those things. Now, let me give you some game, because I'm just going to assume that if you watching this, you ready for this game. If you work at a school, you can truly be like, come back with a warrant, because I was joking earlier, although I was kind of serious about being like, I don't know who's here. I don't have to disclose anybody's immigration status to you, and they didn't have to disclose it to me. Come back with a warrant with a particular name. I'm not finna just let you come in here and guess. So you can tell people, if you have some control of entrance into a school, a place of work, you can be a comrade, you could be a homie, and just kind of be like, you got a warrant, homie? We don't need a warrant. You absolutely need a warrant. Big dog, I'm not just gonna let you pull up on my folk, especially at a school, at an elementary school, at a school. Think I'm just gonna let you walk in? My nigga, if this child's grandmama ain't on their emergency card, they can't pick up their child. You think I'm gonna let you come in here? we're gonna have to put some bodies in front of these people because now they're allowed to do it. Now, once you declare that a national emergency, right? What the next thing he did was declare these cartels as terrorist acts or terrorist groups, which kind of honestly no notes. This is under the Alien Enemies Act of, get this, 1798 to use federal law enforcement to go after those connected in the U.S. The Remain in Mexico policy, which means asylum seekers at the U.S. border will have to stay there in Mexico and not. And if they're going to get any sort of meeting with us, they got to stay in Mexico to wait for it. However, Biden made an incredible app that you could like sign up on and be able to log on to and set your appointment, but he deleted that app. So even if your appointment was next week, it's gone. He's suspending refugee resettlements. So for 4 months, that's going to expedite the removal of those who sought asylum, don't meet the requirements. So there's no settlements to where you could be like, okay, you forgot this, go figure it out and come back. No, that's gone. Now, within that one is the discussion of the doozy that I couldn't wait to talk about, which is the ending of birthright citizenship. This is from this is under the 14th Amendment that was set to do, I think we talked about this on one of the politics before. It had to do with like the Dred Scott case now, which has to do with slaves. That's where this amendment is based in slavery and the black codes. How it worked was this. Quick and dirty. This is refresher course for those who don't know or those who don't know or who remember the time we talked about it and what we mean by it now, because this came up when DeSantis kind of ran on it, thinking about undoing the 14th Amendment. So Dred Scott was a slave in a slave state, got free, ran up to Missouri, started a life, was a citizen there. That's a free state. His old slave owner was like, nigga, that's my property. And he say, wait, hold up. I'm free now. You can't, no, I'm like, so, but I live here in Missouri. How come your Alabama laws supersede these Missouri laws? I am a free man because I live in a free state. What is you doing? So this case went all the way to the Supreme Court because now you have two states who have two different laws. This is why pre-civil, this is why this shit didn't work, because whose law supersedes whose? And what happened was the Supreme Court said, yeah, man, you got to go back. So the Supreme Court made Dred Scott go back, right? So that meant that his citizenship didn't mean shit. So what the fuck makes you a citizen then? Because we're still talking about slaves. He was like, I'm born here. I'm born here and I live in a free state. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean I'm not a citizen? It's like, nah, bro. Still a slave, dog. You're not free. You got to go back. Doesn't make sense. So the civil rights, so the 14th Amendment was to fix that. It's like, sir, if you're born here, you're a citizen. This doesn't make any sense. Now, here's another one. There was some voting laws during the black codes, right? When Reconstruction happened, right? And black people started getting the rights to vote. You know what we did? We voted. And we changed a whole lot of states and we elected our own people. So the way for which they tried to disenfranchise our voting laws, our voting rights, was they do all these different things to make sure that black people couldn't vote. One of which was like the reading and writing thing, where it was like, if you can't spell your name or write these words, or they had these tests to prove that like, oh, you're not eligible to vote because you can't do this. And one of the ones they said was like, you can vote if your granddaddy could vote. Obviously, I'm a first generation freed slave, which meant that clearly my granddaddy couldn't vote. It's like, oh, well, I mean, you're not eligible to vote if your grandparents couldn't vote. So it's pushing it down the line, right? 14th Amendment was designed to dead all that. Listen, dude, you either naturalize or you're born here, okay? You can't do that. This is what makes this is what makes us different. We are a city on a hill. This is what makes us different, dog. You're born here, you're one of us. Now, Fast forward so many years later, you have this concept that they call the anchor babies. What they're saying is people sneak across the border, have a baby here, and that makes them citizens. That's what they say. Now, listen, let me tell you something. That's a straw man argument. It don't be happening that way. You think about the amount of people who just fell in love, just regular people on normal visas, normal work visas, meet somebody out here, fall in love, and have a child. What he trying to say is that baby that y'all just had can't be a citizen because you're not citizens. So the obvious question is, well, where are they from? What are they a citizen of? The state of their parents? But that country is like, well, no, this nigga, he wasn't born here. He's like, I don't understand what that got to do with us. How is like, what are you talking about? Right? Now, this has already been blocked by a federal judge because it's unconstitutional in the sense that the Constitution literally says the opposite. But again, like we started before, you can't put nothing past this nigga. If there's anybody that could figure something out, it's him. Do you know that they was having discussions on whether Native Americans were citizens? Y'all that's on the audio version, I'm looking around this room trying to figure out where the sense of that is. They Native Americans, they may not be naturalized citizens. What this should invoke in all of us is how foolish borders are and how stupid the concept of nation states actually are when you get down to the particulars. And then finally, Trump took all his J6 homies and pardoned all them niggas. Listen, the first episode we did on iHeart Media was shut the fuck up, you ain't gonna do shit. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You ain't gonna do shit. And it was about these trials. If these rioters don't see no time, if they look at the government like you ain't gonna do shit, then guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna happen again. I told y'all, if this nigga get away with it, then he know y'all not gonna do shit. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You ain't gonna do shit. It's over. This man, unequivocally, 1,500 partners. Oath Keeper dudes, they got their sentence, what's the word I'm looking for? Commuted. They got commuted. They got to go home. Them niggas got to go home. Violent. One nigga killed somebody. And then lastly, here we go. That was my lastly, but then there's a cleanup. You got a postscript. Did he miss anything? Did I miss any of y'all in this crash out? Listen, let me spin the block right quick. Make sure I got everything. This last one, I'm revoking security clearances for Trump's former National Secretary, John Bolton. Why? Because that nigga wrote a book about how crazy this man is. Formally establishing the Department of Government Efficiency, suspending the TikTok ban for 75 days, declaring that federal buildings should respect regional and traditional classical architectural heritage, to beautify the spaces and ennoble the United States. Federally recognizing the Limby tribe. Okay, great. Declassifying files related to the assassination of John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. Supporting the use of digital assets and blockchain technology and other financial technology. Establishing the President's Council of Advisors of Science and Technology, composed of 24 members, and revoking existing artificial intelligence policies and directives that act as barriers in AI American innovation, and setting a 180-day deadline to develop an AI plan. Crash out. My house. This man Trump said, nigga, this is what we doing right now. Is there any questions about what is going on up in the White House right now? I want y'all to know right now, nigga, you gonna have to take me out here in a casket, cut, cause I'm gonna run a third term, my crash out. Man, I ain't even get to do, this nigga crashed out so fast. I had a whole episode about the impeachment in Korea. This man moving so fast. 3 episodes I did. I ain't even get to put out. That was supposed to be the first of the year because this man is crash out. And this our world now, y'all. Hood politics. All right, now don't you hit stop on this pod. You better listen to these credits. I need you to finish this thing so I can get the download numbers, okay? So don't stop it yet. But listen, this was recorded in East Los Boyle Heights by your boy Propaganda. Tap in with me at prophiphop.com. If you're into cold brew coffee, we got Terraform Cold Brew. You can go there.com and use promo code HOOD, get 20% off, get yourself some coffee. This was mixed, edited, and mastered by your boy Matt Osowski, killing the beat softly. Check out his website, mattossowski.com. I'm going to spell it for you because I know. MattoSowski.com. mattossowski.com. He got more music and stuff like that on there, so go and check out the heat. Hood Politics is a member of Cool Zone Media, executive produced by Sophie Lichterman, part of the iHeartMedia Podcast Network. Your theme music and scoring is also by the one and only Matt Osowski, still killing the beat softly. So listen, don't let nobody lie to you. If you understand urban living, you understand politics. These people is not smarter than you. We'll see y'all next week.